Welcome to the Trading Sliders Podcast.
Here we go, episode number 60 of the Trading Sliders Podcast. How's everybody doing out there? I'm Bobby Puckett. Here with me in studio today is not Kurt the Flash Bennett, but it's recently newly engaged crew chief Kevin Casey. Thank you for sitting in, Kevin.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited, a little nervous. Well, I'm excited.
Well, hold on. Are you talking about the engagement, or are you talking about being on the show?
I was nervous for that, but I mean that's over now, so I'm not nervous for that. I just don't know what to say on the show.
Well, it's pretty simple. We're just going to bullshit about racing, and you listen every week, so you know the format. Kurt is a little under the weather, not feeling too hot, and he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, you're gonna have to fly solo." And then just so happened, as I pull up to the house, Kevin is at the house and goes, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Hey, I got a job for you." He said, "You're going to come here and hang out." So Kevin's going to hang out. So don't give him too much shit if he screws up. He's not going to screw up no more than we do. But, you know, cut him a break if he screws something up. This week's show being brought to you by Diesel Boys LLC. If you need anything diesel truck related, diesel pumps, fuel injectors, like Ben should have took his girlfriend's truck and got the fuel filters changed. But you reach out to Brandon Hooker and Diesel Boys LLC. Our deep dive is being brought to you by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. If you got any clutch work you need done whatsoever, the two guys that you're listening to this week will probably do 90% of the work if you show up. But come to Kentucky Clutch and we'll get you taken care of. If you call, Kevin's one of those guys that you'll probably talk to. And then he'll come back to me and goes, "Hey, B." And that usually means we don't really know what's going on, so we got to figure it out.
We'll make something work.
We'll make it work. But reach out to Kentucky Clutch and Performance if you need any type of automotive clutch whatsoever. Our slider of the week being brought to you by Speed Decals. Last week's guest was Walt at Speed Decals. Hope everybody enjoyed that. If you didn't listen to it, go back and check it out because we always try to take care of the people that take care of us. But the slider of the week this week it was a slider / crash / almost a slider. We got plenty to talk about on that. DO Handyman Remodeling crash of the week. There was 3 or 4 that we could have picked this week, but man, we had a nasty crash by a future NASCAR star. So we're going to get into that. If you need any type of handyman work done around the house, like this Saturday, I cleaned leaves, I cleaned gutters, I did all kinds of stuff around the house. But if you need any type of handyman work done, right now, you trim, fix around the doors. As Shiloh makes her weekly appearance because she's saying this is Kevin and not Flash in the house. So she's going to come in and stop by. Okay, Sha.
Damn, she just called me.
Ain't she attacks him? Just like that. But if you need anything done around the house right now, it's time that you can fix your door trims, fix your windows, fix your leaks. It's going to be cool. I know it was nice this weekend, but it's going to get cool again. So reach out to David at DO Handyman Remodeling at 812-989-5002. And our racetrack spotlight being brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering. If you need any catering, no event too big, no event too small. Kev's had plenty of JT's Trackside Catering. So
it is delicious.
He can vouch for it when you're at the racetrack, long weekend, and even the leftovers are good, Kev.
Yeah, you can warm them up, and they're pretty good.
Yeah. So if you need anything done catering-wise, reach out to our buddy Jeremy Thomas at JT's Trackside Catering. All right, Kev, you got through the first 5 minutes. That wasn't too bad, was it? All right, so news of the week. USAC is at Placerville, and it did not disappoint. Took a little bit to get started because of the weather. A buddy of ours, Greg Lynn, works for a drag team, sent me a message and said, yeah, I thought California was sunny and nice out. It was 54 degrees and raining where he was, so he wasn't too far from Placerville Speedway, so we're going to get into that. Flo crowned a champion, but not without some controversy. We had 2 races that, both had a little bit of controversy. ASCS crowns a champion. And a guy that we've been talking about on the show for a little bit, but Dallin Murdy lands him a late model ride that if you listen to the show, you kind of probably knew that one was coming. And then the XR saga continues. So that's something that we're gonna talk about, and it sucks, but it needs to be talked about. And are we in the best era of racing? I can ask Kevin this because he doesn't know any other era, but I'll get his take on the era of racing that we're on, since he's early 20s, so he don't even remember what some people say the golden era was. So all that and much more, as they say on this week's Trading Sliders. One thing Kev got his ordered. We do have shirts available. Well, kind of. I say available. Hopefully they'll be here this week. That's what the lady told me. So, but we will have plenty of shirts available. So reach out to myself, Tanya, or the Trading Sliders Facebook page. Just reach out to us, and she'll get you taken care of all that. She handles all that stuff. All I do is forward your message, but reach out and we'll get you taken care of. Get your shirt order, shirt sizes, and all that good stuff if you're available, if you're interested in that. All right, nephew. We're going. Oh, actually, hold on. I gotta tell everybody because I'm saying nephew as in because we're just here. If you hear me say nephew, my nephew is not here. It's Kevin. That's what he's been called for the last 10 years. So, if you hear me say nephew, that's what it means. We're not. Nobody showed up. Nobody walked through the door. No. We're not adding no special guest. But Diamond Murdy. The young man out of the IMCA modified and stock car world has landed a ride at Skyline Motorsports. All right, Kevin, I know you don't know a whole lot about the IMCA world because you're focused in UMP. You crew chief on a race car for UMP. You guys race UMP, so you don't really know anything west outside of Illinois. So, see, you made me mess up, man.
What?
We're 7 minutes in, and I didn't even introduce the damn guest this week.
Oh, yeah.
That's your fault. You had one job. Speaking of UMP and IMCA, this week's guest, Ryan Thomas, out of Brownstown, Indiana, kind of. We get into that in the interview. It's a Brownstown mailing address, but I know where Brownstown Speedway is.
Yeah.
He's not by Brownstown Speedway, but this week's guest, Ryan Thomas, out of Diamond Racecars, sits down with us, a very in-depth interview about everything modified racing, the difference between the rules series. We touched a little bit on the XR stuff. Well, something that you really are going to want to listen to.
Does he talk about the body?
He talks about the body.
He talks about the new rules?
He talks about the new rules. I promise you it's worth the listen. Actually, you might want to listen to it twice. It's worth the listen. As he says, sometimes we just need a brain. But yeah, this week's guest, Ryan Thomas, as I forgot about it again, always forgetting something. And look, I got it wrote down right here. But this week's guest, Ryan Thomas. So, as I was saying, I know you don't really know what goes on out west once you get past Illinois. But the IMCA modified and stock car world, it's the most competitive division there is. And Diamond Murdy, the young man, I think he's 20 years old, 19, 20 years old, has proved that he can win in IMCA stock cars, IMCA modifieds, went and ran IMCA late models this year, which is kind of like a steel block late model, not completely open super late model, but went and ran that. And I think he won 7 or 8 features in the late model this year, 23 features on the year. Won the XR Rampage $100,000 to win race, but got a cool trophy. Probably not going to get any money off that, but got a cool trophy. But Diamond Murdy is he is a guy that Nick Hoffman said, if you got to pick one guy to drive for you, who would you choose? And he said, if Kyle Larson's not the answer, if he's not available, it's Diamond Murdy. So high praise coming in.
Yeah, if Nick says that, then that's pretty good because Nick, he's smart, and if he chooses you, then he has some good faith in you.
Well, and one thing that Diamond Murdy's being compared to Ricky Thornton Jr. because he's kind of on the same trajectory. I used a big word.
Yeah.
I used a big word. But yeah, he's kind of on the same trajectory. And what? So I didn't use it right the second time, apparently, or the little birdie just told us. So, but Diamond Murdy is being compared to Ricky Thornton Jr. and Dylan Thornton and Ethan Dotson, all those guys that come from the IMCA modified world. I'm just going to tell you that Diamond Murdy is the next big thing in the fender world. He is the next man up. So I'm excited to look and see exactly what Skyline's going to choose to do. They said, see you in Speed Weeks. So they're heading to Florida. I don't know if they're going to run a national tour yet. I seen where they were kind of looking for some help on the road. So I don't know if they're going to go pick and choose. I don't know if they're going to go national tour. But what do you think? You're a young man. You're in your early 20s. Going out on the road for the first time and competing on a national tour, what would you think about the whole situation?
Well, I think he'll do pretty good. I mean, Skyline's a good team. He has Tyler Bruning. So, I mean, if Tyler Bruning, he's been to a couple of tracks, that maybe he hasn't been to. So if they can work together, whatever works for Tyler Bruning might not work for him, but I think he'll do good.
Yeah, I think Dallin Murdy, he's got a big learning curve, but he did get to at least run some late model. He ran about 25 to 30 late model races this year, so it's not like everything's totally new.
Right.
So he's going to be in the car. I know they're in the AK Racecars, Austin Kilpatrick cars. So looking forward to keep up the progression of the next big star in late model racing. All right, next, Flo and Sonoya Raceway. We crowned a champion at the Sonoya Raceway, not without controversy. There was 45 super late models checked in for the weekend. But check this out, Neff. 44 602 late models and 60 604 crate late models, all at Sonoya this weekend.
Hey, that's a lot of late models.
That's a ton of late models. Like when you go south, they got late models on top of late models on top of late models.
I know they got 602, 604s. Then the limit. They'll just keep on going on and on. You're like, I don't even know how to tell them apart sometimes.
Well, once the track gets slow and slick like Sonoya, you really can't. They're all running the same lap times. But Sonoya Raceway, huge car count, huge crowd. I mean, damn near sold out crowd down at Sonoya. I seen a bunch of pictures that was posted online, and I've been to Sonoya. They have a big bleacher area, and they've got tier parking all the way around the racetrack, backed up to the catch fence, all the way around the track, and it was absolutely full, absolutely packed house. So good job on Sonoya, because the last couple of years this event has got rained out or canceled or one night happened. Hell, a few years ago they even tried to cover the whole racetrack up with a tarp like we do on the go-kart track here at the Brook Speedway. So they tried just about everything, but Friday night, Jonathan Davenport took the win over Tim McCready and Devin Moran. But there was controversy because I see where Nick Hoffman and a couple guys are... both Bobby Pierce and Jonathan Davenport had an issue where if your tires stop on the racetrack, it's... how do you say that? If your tires stop on the racetrack, you're part of the caution. Well, first we'll start with Jonathan Davenport's issue. The leaders crash in front of him, and he spins to avoid the wreck, but he backed into him as he spun to avoid him. So
did he touch him?
He touched him. So,
I'd say you're part of the wreck then.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody said.
Yeah.
But he did try to...
He did spin. That's how, I don't know. I've seen that happen a couple times, so... I don't know. Sometimes I don't want it to be part of it. I don't know. Everybody has different rules.
It depends on if you're the spinner or spinnee.
Yeah. If Ben spins and he doesn't touch him, or he does touch him but he was spinning to miss the wreck, then I'm like, man.
But that's why I kind of like the no judgment call. If you hit the car and you're stopped, you're part of the caution. That's an easy way to clean that up. So they've done that a few times. So that was fine. Another thing, Bobby Pierce throws not really a chop block, but he kind of just, comes across the nose and he spins out. So as he spins out, nephew, he spins all the way around. He throws it in reverse, backs up the track, Bo Duke style, spins it back around. As the caution comes out, he keeps going. But guess what? His tires never stopped spinning.
They sent him to the tail?
No, they blended him. So he lost like 2 spots because he never stopped. But he was the only car involved. There was no other car involved.
Oh, it was just him?
It was just him.
Well, if they threw the caution out for him, I can see why they were all mad about that then.
Yeah, but his wheels never stopped.
I think they just got caution happy then.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, he was going backwards on the racetrack.
Yeah.
But his tires never stopped. So two easy ways to fix that. And I've seen people go back and forth on this. Here's number one. Okay, it doesn't matter if your tires stop on that situation. If it's a single car caution and you are the caution, it's simple. You're the caution.
Right.
So you go the tail. If 2 guys wreck in front of you and you come to a complete stop and you touch them, you're part of the caution. You go the tail. So not only do they get 1 wrong, I think they got 2 wrong.
It does suck when you try to miss the caution. They do send you back with them, but it does take
It takes the judgment out of it.
Yeah, it takes it. It's like that way you don't have people complaining about like favorites or nothing like that.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So it's just but like I said, But the way their rule was wrote, Bobby Pierce didn't do anything wrong because his tires were still moving. So as his tires were still moving, he's actually considered a legal race car. So it's just considered an inadvertent caution. So it's a blend rule. So he lost like 2 spots. But so that was Friday night.
I didn't think nobody had nothing for Davenport anyway.
No, and it showed. As Davenport, took the $20,000 to win that night. Now Saturday night. Jonathan Davenport took the win over Ryan Gustin, who started 16th and ran second, and Hudson O'Neal, who started 8th and ran third. But Bobby Pierce, always one of the most polarizing guys in all of dirt late model racing and all of motorsports. Here he is, involved again. So him and Brandon Overton. I know everybody's already seen the videos. First off, Davenport wins the race and he's kicking ass. So just so everybody knows, Jonathan Davenport, if he wins, Bobby Pierce has got to run 7th or better, and then he wins the championship.
Okay.
So he's got to run 7th or better. Well, Davenport's on checkout mode. Bobby Pierce doing Bobby Pierce things, ripping the top, ripping the bottom. Turns 3 and 4 got real treacherous. And when I say real treacherous, like halfway through it.
It was through the middle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the middle at the top. Like halfway through the turn, even guys like Mike Marlar were knocking the wall down, and he's not really a wall banger because it kind of got like a little lip there. So Pierce started running the line where he would go in high and he would turn down the middle of the racetrack because, hell, Sonoya's from here to downtown Louisville. Why? so he did change his lineup. Well, he got by Overton, and I think he's third at the time. And he ran the same line that he's been running the last 3 or 4 laps. And Overton had to slow down so he didn't get into the back of him because Overton made a hell of a run on the bottom. Overton had to slow down so he didn't get into the back of him. Well, when he did, Overton pushed all the way up the racetrack because these dirt late models kind of get aero dependent. So as Overton pushes up the track, we have a situation that for some reason it became a bigger situation. Did Bobby Pierce chop his nose? Yes. But racing has changed to the point where, that cutting down on a guy is no different than throwing a slider on the guy. You're trying to break his momentum and break his hair. So I understand guys being upset. I know earlier in the year, McCready was upset with, I think, Garrett Albertson for the same thing. But so as it happens, Overton runs down in turns 1 and 2. As Overton gets to 1 and 2, he drives in the wall, smacks the wall, gets hit by 3 or 4 cars. So Overton's pissed, obviously. Pierce has a flat on the caution because about 3 laps before that, Pierce did the exact same thing, and Ashton Winger wasn't as nice, and he popped Pierce in the left rear. So, caution comes out, Overton's shit's tore up. His little brother, Cody Overton, crashes into him. His shit's tore up. Brandon Shepherd crashes into him. His shit's tore up. So Overton does his best impersonation of Tony Stewart, and he wants to throw his helmet. First off, these helmets are like $1,500.
Yeah, they're high now.
Yeah, really high helmets.
They ain't them open faces no more.
No, they're not the blue bubble helmet you used to run at the Brooks Speedway.
No.
So, part number 1, it's not the helmet's fault that you're mad.
I don't even think he put a dent in his door.
No. Well, he's got stacked on the side, so it just bounced
can't
off
hurt that stack.
No, you're not going to hurt that. So, Pearson's crew's out there changing the tires and stuff. Overton's pissed. Overton comes in, and it starts off as just a regular conversation. Overton's mad, and he just wrecked, and it's home track, so kind of get him being upset. Overton's pissed off. But as Overton, says what he needs to say, he kind of like mean mugged him, slapped him in the head, but like tried to poke him between the visor. In the eye.
Yeah, he tried to get a hold of it, but he couldn't really get his hand up in there.
Yeah, so, and as that happened, a guy changing in the right rear comes around, and he's about your size.
But when we parked next to him in Highland, he is pretty stouter. He's stouter than me. Yeah.
He's stouter than you, okay, but he's not much taller than you.
No,
so,
not the same height, though.
Yeah, so he comes around, and he's like, hey, don't touch my driver. And then this dude grabbed him from the side, and it's a bunch of, kind of pushing match. The Joe Duvall said one of the funniest things on Facebook. He said, "I'm sure glad that Flo didn't cut away from the Your Mama contest that we had in the infield." So everybody's yelling at each other. But then there's some big dude, some big cat in an orange shirt.
Hey, he was big.
Yeah, he looked like he wanted to come over and smash everybody in half. And it looked like he could have. And then that dude that you said is pretty stout, he just kind of like, "Hey, y'all, just leave my driver alone."
Yeah.
He was like, he didn't want none of that smoke.
Then they sent him back out there.
Yeah, so he got back out there and he ended up running, I think, 5th or so. So congratulations to Bobby Pierce on winning championship number 2 on the year. It's very rare do we get to see, a couple championships in one season by one driver. So congratulations on our past guest, Bobby Pierce, winning the Flo Night in America season championship. So that was pretty cool. Jonathan Davenport, we'll say this week's top performer. We don't have a sponsor for our top dog of the week yet, but it's going to be Superman with a $20,000 to win on Friday, $30,000 to win on Saturday. So Superman takes $50,000 home. So that's what went on in Sonoya. All right, nephew. Now, we're not going to beat a dead horse with this. We got to mention it.
Okay.
So the XR series, Barry Braun got arrested. Everybody that has any type of social media whatsoever has seen it. We're not going to, celebrate somebody getting locked up. And for the same token, too, I feel bad for the drivers. I feel bad for the crew. I feel bad for everybody involved. But in the same token, everyone's been told how this guy operates. Everyone, same guys, same people that I kind of feel bad for. Drivers, crew, personnel. They also known the previous history. So at some point, it's like raising a kid. At some point, it's your fault. It can't always be the other guy's fault. Yes, he's doing wrong, but Jesus, you can't go to these races and then be pissed off when the outcome is the same. I mean, you played basketball for me, and we've always said this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing
over and over,
and expecting a different result.
Right.
So hopefully the guys that are owed money will get paid.
It's bad when Ricky Thornton had to wait on his money.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if guys like Ricky Thornton Jr. and Kyle Strickler still hasn't been paid,
he
still hasn't been paid $125,000. It took Ricky Thornton a year to get paid. If it's taking those guys to get paid, if me and you go win a front wheel drive race, guess what? He's definitely not paying us.
We probably wouldn't see it at all.
No,
some of these guys they're never going to see it, but it is sad, but. I mean, it does suck.
Yeah, so that's just one of those things. But we had to talk about it. We can't gloss over it. I know there's some people that just gloss over shit happening, but we can't do that. We got to at least bring it up because it's in the news cycle. And speaking of news cycle, didn't get to see a whole lot of this. I got to watch the Saturday night feature, but the ASCS sprint cars were at Creek County this weekend. 45 cars Friday and Saturday. And I want to say congratulations to Zach Dahm for getting his first national tour win last night at Creek County. Was a really good race as a 40-lap A main. Had about 3 or 4 red flags. Guys ripping the lip, slamming the cushion, doing the damn thing, getting upside down. But Zach Dahm got his first national tour win. And Sam Hafertein Jr., 6-time national tour champion for the American Sprint Car Series. So six-time Sam got him the win there. So Sam Hafertein, congratulations on that. So now we're going to move to the night number 1 and 2. It's supposed to be for the USAC West Coast Swing. It's actually night number 1 got rained out. So night number 2, USAC West Coast Swing. They're going down the old Hangtown, the Placerville Speedway, the Hangtown 100. 31 cars on hand, $20,000 to win, 100-lap USAC National Midget Race. This event had everything. It had plenty of rain, plenty of moisture, a big cushion. I'm talking like a cushion and a half. And if anybody has been on social media today, you've seen either the crash, the clap, the thumbs up. Kyle Larson and Dejan Persley were absolutely going at it But before that, Kyle Larson started fifth, I think, fifth or sixth. Larson raced his way to the lead. He went by Corey Day, and Corey Day was running balls to the wall, everything he could. And this week's D.O. Handyman Remodeling Crash of the Week. Did you see this crash?
I've seen the.
It
was pretty. He rode over a couple times.
It was a rough one. Yeah. But Corey Day, around lap 25 or so, in between turns 3 and 4, jumps the right rear wheel with his left front, and my man goes for a ride and a half, upside down 3 or 4 times. So Corey Day takes a nasty, nasty one.
How's it going? We did not order anything. It's probably next door. Which one's $2.90? Yeah.
You want some free food?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Shit, I mean, I'm down. What was it? Was it pizza?
I think it was Papa John's, maybe.
Yeah, if it's Papa John's, it's for sure us. What's she gonna tell people we didn't order nothing?
I don't know.
Yeah, on God, we ordered it.
Hey, we could have took it. If it was milkshakes, I probably would have took it. You probably would not have took it, but
Nah, hell no! It took to try and get me sick. As Uber Eats, delivers to the wrong house here. It kind of happens sometimes. But that's, hey, as we say, we're the man of the people. That's kind of the way it is. But Corey Day takes a nasty wreck 3 or 4 times, upside down, end over end, violent crash. Glad he was able to walk away. Took him about 15 or 20 minutes to get out of the car. Had to gather his wits. So that was D.O. Handyman Remodeling Crash of the Week. And then, so Dason Pursley gets a run on Kyle Larson. Larson has about a half straightaway lead. Pursley gets a run on him, and then he, as some guys would say, he video gamed him.
I did see this. He did. Did you see it hit? Like he hit the inside of the cushion?
He hit the inside berm.
So I feel like that's why. I feel like he would have cleared him if he didn't hit the berm.
Well, he got such a big run, and he turned on him. And I'm a Dason Pursley supporter. Mm-hmm. I think the kid is probably, if you listen to the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think he's the next up and coming superstar. He's got a lot of Kyle Larson, a lot of Brian Clausen, a lot of the greats. He has their same intangibles. But and there's nobody that screams that Kyle Larson is the greatest race car driver in the world more than me. All right, so I'm not a Kyle Larson hater. Actually, I've been saying this for 10 years now. Since I seen him race when he was 16, 17 years old at Indiana Bull Rings. Kyle Larson is the best race car driver in the world. And people say, well, what about A.J. Foyt? What about Tony Stewart? Well, when A.J. Foyt and Tony Stewart says, you are better than me, you are actually better than them.
Yeah.
You're better than them. So that's pretty, it's pretty self-explanatory on that end. So I'm a big Kyle Larson guy.
Larson, he's winning, he's done it all. He almost won that Indy race, too.
Yeah. Kyle Larson can drive anything, and anything that he drives it as fast as it can possibly be driven. So when Pursley gets the run, and last week I talked about if we got inside berms, it actually helps the racing. This is not what I meant by that, first off. But Placerville had to pull all the mud down because there was so much water. They had so much rain. So they scraped all the mud down. So they kind of had like a berm inside of the berm that they normally have. And it had a bunch of water and, all the slop sitting down there. So he hit the grease, hit the berm, slammed into him.
Kind of popped his front wheels up.
Yeah, the car unloaded.
Yeah,
the car unloaded, and Larson was pissed, as he should have been.
Right.
He's leading, and he gets wheeled, honestly.
He went for a pretty good spill, too.
He had a good ride there, and so did Santino Ferrucci. The Indy 500 top 3 finisher this year. He went end over end, and funny thing about Ferrucci was, he's never been upside down. Well, he was upside down at the Chili Bowl last year when I was there. But he's never been upside down in a car for an extended period of time. He was a damn good ways off the racetrack, so he scooted out of the car in the mud. Okay? He had a white driving suit on. So he's standing there looking at the car. It looks like he shit himself all down the back. Which he may have, because those IndyCar guys, they've never been rolling like that. Which he may have. But so Pursley, he had one opportunity, he took it, and he screwed up. But this week's Slider of the Week is going to go to Dason Pursley, and it's not because he won the race. but the way he handled it after the race. He gets out, the crowd's booing him, and you got two things. You can go two ways. You can own it and be like, screw that guy, I just won $20,000. Or you can own it and say, yeah, I'm not real happy. I won that way. I don't want to race that way, but it is what it is. And Daison Pursley handled himself, in a manner that you would think he was in his 30s.
He's not that old either.
No, he's like 22 years old.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I seen him one time at Circle City when we was racing down there. He was talking to Mike Michelli.
Yeah, he's a young kid. So Pursley, but what Pursley said was, and this is why he's the Slider of the Week, brought to you by Walnut Speed Decals, is because he said, I won the race. I'm sure Larson's pissed, but I'm going to go down and take my ass chewing as I deserve one, and then we're going to move on. And then I seen an interview with Kyle Larson, and he said, hey, he didn't want to wreck like that. I didn't want to get beat that way, and he didn't want to beat me that way. I understand. So as Larson's been a guy that's thrown the slider before and it not quite work out, all is well in the midget world. So that's how that went down. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but racing, are we in the best era? And I'm going to discuss this too whenever Flash comes back, because Flash is older than I am, so he can talk about 3 stages. But we had a sold out crowd at Placerville. Good car count. We had a sold out crowd at Sonoya. Over 150 late models. So as a guy who's a crew chief on a car, who's runs up and down the road, you guys run some major events, you go to speed weeks, you do some summer national stuff, and you also do some local racing. Where do you think the motorsports is right now? Where do you think dirt racing is right now?
I do think everything's high. Parts are high.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything is high. I don't know really, but I don't know how it was back then. So I mean, how was it like back then?
Well, everything back then you built yourself. You didn't just open the catalog up and order the parts. But I'm just saying, as far as racing, because the major events, there's good car counts, great crowds. The local events, the car count's down, the crowd's down. So can you tell, like, the vibe when you go to the racetrack that's a major event versus a local show? How do you...
Yeah, you can tell, because when it's a bigger show, everybody's there. But local show, I mean, you can sit wherever you want.
Yeah,
so.
you just hang out, huh?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I think we are in a golden era right now for major events. Our major events are, there's nothing better than a major event in any of dirt racing right now. It could be late model, sprint car, modified, it doesn't matter. But the local shows are really, really struggling, and I don't know how we're going to fix that. Because you got to have local shows so guys can get the experience so they can run the major events.
Right.
So, do you run a few major, like the theory for the last 4 or 5 years is, do you run a few major events and, hopefully you make enough money that the money you lose on the local show, you don't lose your ass on the year? Or do we quit running local shows? I mean, I don't know where it's going. I don't really know what the answer is.
That's the only bad thing. You quit running local shows, then you quit having racers,
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I know something. As far as special events though, right now it's the best it's ever been. So it's paying more money. Yeah, I mean it's more car counts, more 2 and 3 day shows. So the special event right now is better than it's ever been. So, well, you sit through your first podcast. It wasn't too bad, was it?
No, it was good. I had fun.
You had fun? All right. Well, we'll have to get you back on. Where you actually maybe watched something that week. Yeah. I know you had other stuff going on. You had family pictures. I know.
Hey, that was the best idea I've ever had up in a while.
Yeah, you did all right.
Biggest surprise I ever pulled off.
See, but was you nervous?
Was I nervous when I was doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was nervous.
What was you done? She said no.
I don't know. I guess get my truck and go home. I guess. I don't know.
But she did, and it worked out. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on, sitting in this week. And we're gonna get off here and listen to the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Thomas of Diamond Racecars. Trust me, this is an interview you do not want to miss. So if you're at work and you gotta pause it and come back and re-listen to it, this is something you want to listen to twice. But Ryan Thomas out of Brownstown, Indiana.
It's time for the Trading Sliders Deep Dives presented by Kentucky Clutch and Performance.
Here we go, Trading Sliders Deep Dive. Flash, we made our way to Brownstown, Indiana, and guess what? We're not putting a wall up. They didn't let us in the racetrack.
Yeah.
But we may have found a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Ryan Thomas, Diamond Racecars, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
Doing well. Glad for you guys being here and excited to talk some racing.
Yeah, we're good. If you listen to our show, we bullshit. That's what we do. It's not a questionnaire. We just kind of bullshit. And if people get upset, they just get upset. But we try to have a good time. We try to promote. I don't know. We're going to do something that sounds awful weird. We try to promote the sport in a good way. How does that work out? Because you're right here by Brownstown Speedway. You know about promoting. You're right. I want to say a block down the road, but first off, how the hell did you find this property? Because you're not in Brownstown.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Brownstown address, but my wife, this was her grandma's property, and we bought it through all that. Yeah. And she used to rent a house trailer out here. Actually, the septic for the shop is hooked, there. Yeah. And then we built a house on top of the hill, and obviously all that's different, but yeah. So it was in my wife's family.
Yeah, because when I come down the road, I'm thinking, I know it says Brownstown. I've seen it 1,000 times. Diamond Racecars, Brownstown, Indiana. Ryan, we are not in Brownstown.
You probably. My wife actually, she texted and said, "Hey, they're going to be a little after 7." I said, "That's fine." And I thought, man, it's dark. They ain't never been here. They might not find it.
Oh yeah.
It's not too far from town. Yeah. But you know what's funny? People come down from northern Indiana, and if you follow GPS, it'll get you off out
in the middle of the field.
Pretty much. You got to cross the creek and everything else to get here. Yeah. And so we try to tell people, hey, go down to exit 55.
Yeah.
Get off Jonesville Seymour exit, but that don't always work that way.
No, it's funny though. As we was coming in, I'm thinking, man, like, positive thing is, I told Kurt when we were pulling in, for a guy that builds race cars, this is great because you're not in town where people are just going to stop by and bug you all day. Because I've built cars in town. I know how that is.
Right. Which you still get, and the people that stop, I love them to death, but you still get interruptions at the wrong time, which is fine, but you still get it. As
you're trying a new trick front end and somebody's coming in, you're thinking, hold on a second. I'm going to cover this up.
Right. Yeah.
In a chassis manufacturing business, as you are, you produce so many race cars. We took a shop tour here. You've got everything at your hands. How tough is it still to, meet deadlines, meet quotas? We're going to talk about your Black Friday event, so we can try to get you a little bit of pub here. But we got bumpers sitting everywhere. Like, how tough is it to stay on top of everything during the race season? Because you're a racer yourself.
So I'm pretty blessed. It's taken a lot of years to do this, but I've got really good guys. When I started, I did all the work myself, and heck, by the time you answer phones and pay the bills and order parts, and you can't hardly
start on tomorrow's work.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got good guys that do the work. I've got Trent. He helps and does a lot of the maintenance on the race car, the washing, the every week maintenance that you have racing. It's taken a lot of years to get to that point to be able to be where I'm at with it. And sure, there's always the next biggest bill. There's always the next biggest time frame. You got to hit something. But just like it's Black Friday, it's like cram, trying to just be prepared for it. And I think in business, that's just normal. But I got good guys in place. My wife, she does a lot, and I feel like I'm kind of over the mountain with some of that struggle, but it's still a struggle. That's just normal.
As you're building stuff, as you're preparing stuff, I know because I do that type of work, myself. I'm not to this level by any means, but also I'm by myself, when I'm doing it. So I understand the pain in the ass as it is. As much enjoyment as you get out of it, it's still just like, man, can I get this done tonight? Or Do you ever put a timetable on yourself, like, all right, I get this car off the jig today, and tomorrow we can, and then something happens, and hell, you don't even have the rear clip on the car, so I know how it works.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I started in a 24 by 24 garage, and like literally, you'd build the car and you'd roll the jig outside, and then you'd
it's time to hang the body.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely, and like now, there's times where at the end of the day or evening or whatever, I have to go look where stuff's at because I didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I know I had some bumpers around here somewhere.
Right, absolutely. I heck, I thought there was this many of this or whatever, and it may not be, but.
With you being so close to Brownstown Speedway, as I gave you shit about it not being close to town, I mean, you're still within 5 miles. How much do you use Brownstown Speedway? Because you don't get to particularly race there a whole lot anymore, but how much do you use Brownstown Speedway for not only testing, but, a customer gets the car, you go over and work with him. Do you use that as a tool, or is it just...
We did, yes. I kind of not now, because... Jim Price, if you ain't gonna run us, I ain't gonna get paid to
practice at the track.
Right.
We heard on a different podcast that it costs $500 to go there.
I'll tell you what Tater said. Tater said it don't matter if you make 1 lap or 3,000. It's $500.
Yeah, it is. And now you get it 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty reasonable. So it is reasonable, but then again, you got to watch a little bit of going over testing because the racetrack's just pure dust. Yeah. And it's daytime, so you don't really. I say that you don't gain what you think you could gain from testing over there.
Yeah.
Because it's not race condition. If you want to make sure the brakes work and the motor runs, great.
I've always said dirt track testing only works after a night of racing, and you do it the next morning if it didn't lay rubber. That's the only time testing really works.
Or after the race, right? So. I said earlier, if Brownstown lap times get to 16 seconds in a mod, you're wasting time. You can change, and you're like, man, I'm still 16 seconds, or 16.2 or whatever. And racing it's that way. Like if you're starting 5th, not saying that you can't win the race. We had a race there earlier this year, the Northern All-Star race. Harmon was leading, and I'm sitting there 2nd, and just kept rolling and kept rolling. Kind of up a lane, and was A+ like early in the night, and was A+ in the feature, but could not capitalize on passing. So I'm like, try to hang with him. Get a yellow, because a lot of times you can get a yellow, you can capitalize on restarts. And his stays green. I'm like, we're going to run 2nd. Simple as that, And with the caution come out there, and I was grinning ear to ear. I picked the outside because I just knew you could get a really good run. Brownstown, I've cut my teeth there. I know it like the back of my hand. But I know how hard it is to make up ground. Yeah. And we went on to win that race, but it still took like 3 or 4 laps to get around him on the outside, like just slowly. And the great thing about Brownstown is it teaches you lots of discipline, lots of don't make mistakes, because you can't.
Yeah, if you scrub off your speed, it's not like you're going to bang off the cushion and make it back up.
Right, absolutely.
But if everybody's listening again, because I'll say this till the day I die, or they tell me to quit talking about it. If it had a wall. If it had a wall.
I'm telling you, my father-in-law would kick my butt for saying this, but I'm telling you, and I used to think the same thing. No wall. I love it because there's no wall, because it's easy on equipment. You ain't got to hit it.
Yeah.
Well, after racing for a lot of years, the wall just creates another lane. And don't hit it. I mean, you know what I mean? And then so the next thing, so if you do hit it, it just peels the deck, if you're up by it. But, like really a track without a wall like Brownstown, if you
dangerous.
try to run the top, you can really go for a major ride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and one thing I say when I say this, and people say, well, you want to see them bang off the... No, not exactly. But take Farmer City. Mm-hmm. Farmer City in 3 and 4 is one of the best racetracks in the country. Farmer City in 1 and 2, you're just riding. You're not racing. You don't want to lose ground so you can make it up in the next turn.
Right.
If it had a wall on both turns. So if anybody that disagrees with that, just watch Farmer City.
Just watch.
Because they got good dirt. They got Central Time, so they start later. Everything should be perfect, and it is in one turn.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love Farmer City. When it's right, it races really well. And I'm no cushion wall banger. That's not really my cup of tea. And it's because I cut my teeth at Brownstown Speedway. And I do think if you get your stuff A+, you don't need the cushion, you don't need a wall to capitalize on spots, but you got to be A+ with your car, you know.
One thing I always ask modified racers, especially guys that went and did I don't want to say the XR stuff, but with that right now is something we don't really need to talk about. Let's just leave that one off.
Right.
But the mod wars, the 4 or 5 classes together. When you went and ran that, I know you had an issue that if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But
we'll talk about it.
How equal was the competition? Because Tyler Nicely told me that he thinks if we put everybody on the same tire, the cars are just the same, so it don't matter. How equal was it?
I kind of agree with that. So in 24 was the first year they kind of combined the USMTS, USRA, and the 100,000 Barry put on up at Mississippi Thunder, and then we went to Texas in September and run for 50. So when we first went to Mississippi Thunder, the UMP guys, in my opinion, were a bunch of cowards. Like, oh, we can't run with these boys, and blah, blah, blah. Look at their cell panels, and look at
their
this.
spoiler.
And I personally think that the guys that couldn't run with them on the UMP side was the guys that relied on too much traction, too stuck. Them cars, a little less motor, they're a spec head.
Yeah.
So like basically the same motor that I got could be their motor, but no port work, none of that. I think there's chip rules and everything else.
Which isn't a terrible idea.
It is. It isn't. If you're going to change rules, that's what you do.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
You don't do this stupid crap that they're doing with the body.
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Yeah. So that just burns my butt. But anyways, we were competitive at the Mississippi Thunder the first time, and then we went to Texas for 50 grand, and we started like 21st and got up to 6th. We ended up like 18th, which tires. 100 laps. You better learn how to cut them. You better learn what's going on with that. And we kind of gambled. We went, in UMP, you can't run 360s. You can only run a 60 on the right rear. Well, we went 360s in Texas. And the prelim nights, we were really hurting tires. Well, so I didn't cut them as much and all that. Well, I don't know. It never really took off, but it wore the sipes plumb out of the tire. And the last 10, 15 laps, I was like,
you just riding
in the water.
Hanging on,
And, but we went from 21st to 6th. I'm like, man, if these tires ever go, they're in trouble, And
well, they went, but you were in trouble.
But they didn't go. I never really felt like they went. And so anyway, the I don't know, 30 to go. And I was sitting there like 6th or something, and it just, we had a string of cautions and went back. So there's a science with that, with the tires. I think their tires are probably a little better in that long run.
Oh, because they're hard as hockey pucks.
Well, I know. So like, I don't think you'd get it, the 30 like down there. I don't think. I mean, it was 105 degrees every day.
Yeah.
I mean, the low was like 87. I mean, I don't think the 30 would ever made it, but I don't know that the 60 was the answer. But if you go to their tires, because we could have ran them, then you got ground clearance differences. And so you don't know. If you don't know them, that's why we stuck with what we did. Well, anyway, leaving Texas, I'm like, the UMP boys have the advantage over the
So that's what I said from day one.
USRA cars. I'm telling you right now, you just have to be smart enough and mentally tough enough to say, oh, well, I don't care that they're coming in on this 5150 stacker, and I don't care that they race for a living. You know what I mean? We have the advantage.
Well, that's what I said. My thing was, Rodney Sanders is Rodney Sanders. It don't matter what car he's in. He's going to be fast.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They're going to be good. And they race differently. Like them cars, and I think some of this might be their tires, some of this might be their motor, but they race more momentum. Like big circles, anywhere they're at. And hell, they'll slide across your nose. I mean, they race differently than what the UMP stuff is. So, like, a lot of times I think a lot of UMP guys, they think, oh, let's throw this thing with traction, and they don't race that way. If you do that, racing against them, I think you're out in left field.
Yeah. I'm a modified guy. I mean, I'm a non-wing sprint car guy first. I'll just, everybody who listens knows that. But I'm a modified guy. We work for a modified series. We, I race modifieds. I love IMCA modifieds. None of it's affordable, but the affordability. I mean, it's basically the same type car with more specs. The modified world, when you get past Illinois, because everybody thinks Illinois is the home of modified because of UMP racing. UMP modified in Illinois is tough.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you get to Iowa, you get to Missouri, you get to Kansas, that's tough. Yeah, that's
just different set of rules.
Yeah. So that's one thing to me that I wish we had a national modified deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody on the same page.
So we're going to talk rules then. I'm like, me personally, I wish UMP would just say, we're going to go USMTS and USRA. We're just adapting that rule. If you want to make money on your tires, fine. Have whatever tire rule you want. But let's make our car the same. Absolutely. Anybody can buy 4 tires and race.
Absolutely. So, like, we deal with that every day. You build an IMCA car, well, guess what? It's this set of rules, so you have to be on top of that. You build the first Wisoda car we built, this set of rules. Bodies, different. In my opinion, yes, aero matters. Aero's cheap. It's free. Everybody that has a little bit of brain can build just as good a body as the next.
You got to put a piece of aluminum anyways. It don't matter which way you hang it.
It costs the same amount to build a shoebox versus a race car, right? So if you could get the same page with rules, like a national mod deal, that'd be huge. I get it, the crate deal. I'm not a fan of crates, and I think that I've heard it's kind of going away. IMCA I think I think GM's quitting making them or something, but.
Well, IMCA's, you don't have to run a crate in IMCA.
You don't.
If you want to put 100 pounds on your engine plate, you don't have to.
Right, which is silly. So I don't know. Like the Wisoda, I think it's closer. It's in between IMCA and like UMP or USRA.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rules, I get it, but UMP's just asinine with their rules. I mean, and they ain't got an official that knows what the hell's going on other than Jonathan Clayton, or the Mod Mafia guy has a little bit of a clue. Other than I think he kind of wrote these rules, which is complete ignorance.
So the guy with clue did complete ignorance.
Right. Well, and it's like Sam. It's time for Sam to go. He's 10 years we talked about promoters. Well, how long has he been race director of dirt car or UMP mods or whatever?
35, I guess.
And he's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. That's a joke. But it waters it down. Hell, what's the Hall of Fame if you get Sam Driggers in there? But my opinion is, and I don't want to talk smack about him, but have a brain. There's not one time have they reached out like to me saying, or another chassis builder, maybe they have certain chassis builders, but not to me. I've been building one of the old guys now.
You're getting old, man. You get some gray.
And it's like, okay, like this right here. No, that car's been raced, right? Well, I guess we'll throw it in the trash and start over.
No.
How dumb is that? And then just to, I probably should stop because I'm telling you, that just drives me nuts.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you've already changed your right side. You don't have your fancy brake in it.
Yeah, no, we changed that because that's stacked.
Okay.
But for a little while, Sam Driggers was, we're going to make stack illegal, but you can run the MD3 because they,
Well, here I will say this. I think stack, MD3, MD3, whatever you want to run, I think it still should be aluminum on the driver's door because of fire. Because if there's a fire, you can get it. Yeah.
That's what we do is still aluminum on the left side,
Yeah.
and then stack. Or I did the MD3. I had problems with stickers sticking, which that's probably me putting them on. Because I put some stuff on it, but it didn't seem to. And then I like the stack because it's lighter, easier to cut, and everything else.
It's a lot easier to cut.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, I don't know how true this is, and maybe you do. MD3 makes a plastic now that you can break.
I guess I ain't maybe seen that. I mean, you can break.
Well, I mean,
Like
like,
over the years,
you
I've
could break a
never
90 on it. Like I would. If you
Yeah,
do,
see, I
I've
don't
never.
know.
Yeah,
I haven't
so,
dealt with that.
Yeah,
I
me neither. That's why I was
haven't dealt with
asking you because hell, you're a lot more advanced at this
Yeah,
than
no,
I
but
am.
I haven't dealt with it.
Okay,
I
well,
haven't.
Because
Yeah.
I was wondering if that's the case, that could be the ticket to the right rear deck.
Yeah. Right.
If you can break a piece that it can break.
Until Sam changes the deck rule. We're on our 4th deck rule since 21.
Well,
Come on, what are we doing here?
well, okay. Let me ask you this. I know you're not happy with the body rules, and you got a machine. You're in a better position than a lot of guys doing this. You got a machine that you can do 50 bodies at once.
Right.
I get that. What rules would you change if you think? Do you think there needs to be any change, or what would you do?
Well, so my thing with that, I am fine with the rules. I'm fine with cutting back, with whatever. Like if you think there's too much skew, or Sam hasn't told me this, but people say, well, Sam says he don't like the way they look. Well, come on, get off your high horse, dude.
Well, they look like a late model without fenders now.
Right. So, and I mean, I get it, right? Okay, so you do have to change it. You got the CAD time, you got all the crap. Not to mention the racer. Let's think about the racer here. Okay, so I'm sitting here, like I could race that tomorrow, and I mean, it's got rock dings and stuff in it, but it ain't just destroyed. You know, the body on that car. Whatever, I got the means, we'll change it, whatever. But the local racer, now all of a sudden, well, hell, just the lettering's $800-900. You know what I mean? Not to mention metal. We just got a thing from Robert & Sons. Metal's going up 8%. That's going to put it like $100 a sheet, my cost.
Yeah, it's $103 for most people's cost. So yeah, they've already. You're getting about $10 deal.
Right. So it's a thing that's like it's stupid. I get it that they're out of hand. They're too fast compared to what. Sorry, that's their compressor.
No, that's
off.
That's fine.
They're too fast
I'm
compared
from
to
the
what.
hood. I'm used to people shooting at us. We're good.
So I get it. They need to slow down, but if you want to slow them down, okay, the same winners are going to be the same winners, whether you make it look like a shoebox or you don't. Okay, but it's still the same amount of money. It's not you're costing the racer money, not saving them money, or not making it to where they can be competitive. Because I mean, most racers have a sheet metal brake, period, or they know somebody that does. It's air's free. Hello, jack wagons.
Well, here's one thing. I've had guys say this to me, and I kind of agreed with it at first, but I wasn't thinking of it the way I should. They said, "Well, you just got to change 2 pieces of decking." Yes, but okay. So say your right front has got to make the front's got to be the same as the rear. Well, now you got to make a new hood because your hood comes to the outside. You got to make new cell panels. You got to make new window posts, and not only that.
Cell panels.
Yeah, you gotta make cell panels. Like, because you done pissed everybody off and made a break an inch and a half in. You done.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was the next thing. Yeah.
And the moonroof. I think they looked at Diamond Racecars and said, "We don't want these guys to make anything."
So I've laughed about this. Like, no half moon roofs is what it says. And
there's only one car.
What the hell's a half moon roof? And I'm thinking, well, they probably talk about the scallop on the back.
Yeah.
So I'm also like, well, okay, so if you buy a fiberglass or an MD3 plastic roof or any of that, guess what? They got that arc in the back. Or do they mean, here's how dumb they are, do they mean like arc side to side? Like if you look at it from the side, is it arc like a half moon?
Like the St. Louis.
How stupid can you be? I mean, come on. If you're going to make rules, let's make them to where they have some sense.
I thought they were just kind of picking on you. Well,
I've had customers say that too, and whatever. To be honest with you, and I don't know yet. Our plans of right now is go to Volusia, but it's going with that.
Yeah.
Send me home. Seriously, I'll go to the beach. I mean, I'm not going to deal. I'm not going to go to jail because I'm telling you right now, the most asinine crap they've done in the last. It's never changed. From day one, it's always been that way. I got a picture in there from 02 at Eldora. My second year in a mod. Got in a mod at 01. I can bring it out here and show you. And that's what mods look like, okay? So if you want to save this mod class, well, you should have done it 15 years ago, and you didn't. The motors, the shocks, the bird cage technology, everything about it, that's what you need to police, not these stupid bodies. Now, the next thing is you have body rules in place, and we have followed them. We've chased your stupid deck rules, fourth deck in 4 years. We've chased the rake, and try to accommodate you, and you still don't police them. So the only sanctions that's going to police them will be Florida, Summer Nationals, or Mars.
That's
And the Summer Nationals ain't worth two shits to run as a mod. You're just wasting money and time because they paid $125 to start. I mean, what the hell? You burn up a car racing for, so that's a joke. I'll watch that. I don't care. I won't go to it. The Mars is a different story. Matt Curl is awesome. He does so much for the sport. Jonathan Clayton, same deal. They have good paying races. So, that is huge. James Essick, Northern All-Stars, I guarantee you, he'll be whatever. We're not enforcing this.
Yeah.
Any local racetrack, you don't even see a UMP official unless it's Mars, Summer Nationals, or Florida.
Occasionally, you might see Trey Bute roll up.
No, he's retired. Yeah. And he might throw his we've had our bouts over the years.
Yeah.
But so I guess the next thing is I'll just avoid it because you can follow their shoebox rule. The rear tire is going to be sticking out 6 inches like it used to. It really will. And then that creates, somebody comes around and jumps the tire.
Well, now you got it. Now
Put rub bars on the
Yes,
outside.
I'm saying you can make money now, though. Now you got to make rub bars on the outside.
Right,
Like they used to be.
I'm going to throw away 50 breakaways because they're no good. They ain't going to work. You know what I
I
mean?
race mods where we had to have rub bars on the right side.
And not to mention the poor racer is going to have to spend $1,000 at minimum just updating their crap.
And then the worst part about the rub bars is everybody powder coats everything now. That's a son of a bitch. You got to grind all that off.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so anyhow, so you follow the rules to run the Mars or the Summer Nationals. Florida, I don't think the rule will stick. I think after Florida, it'll be all backed up because I think a lot of people are going to show up down there and not be, they're going to be like this.
Well, let me give a suggestion because we work for a series and we got to abide by the UMP body rule, and for the most part, we do a pretty good job policing everything. But I go into a place, not saying anything about the South, but we go into Tennessee and we have 4 or 5 cars that they're not cheating. They just don't know no better, and you just gotta wave those guys through anyways.
Right.
Because they broke it with a board and a hammer.
Right. Right.
So there's
that.
But there is that. But would you be okay with it if they said this is the rule we're going to in 27? Let you use up all the stuff that you already have. I mean, would it not okay?
I would be okay with it. They said at the beginning of the year that they're taking the crookedness out of the race car. Well, what's that mean? I would be okay with any of it, but it's got to be policed, and they don't. They write these rules, and then they don't enforce it. And then you show up, and you're behind because you followed their stupid rules that they just wrote. That's the way they work. Like I said, we're on our 4th deck since 21. I mean, hello.
You're a computer programmer, but you got to redo your program.
There's rules in place. I mean, just police what you got. Now, the problem is they don't have enough to go around to police it. Like I said, okay, Jacoby Hines, my brother-in-law, he'll avoid, which he's not racing now, he would avoid.
Yeah, he's doing like swimming and stuff now, right?
His daughters, my nieces, they're really good at swimming, so they're all over the place. But he would avoid, he wouldn't go to Mars, he wouldn't go, but he could run with the old school 103-inch skew at Brownstown, Bloomington, a couple shows they run. He'd go down to Kentucky, and they wouldn't say a damn word.
Yeah.
So you show up to the local show, and I've said for a lot of years now, you do go, if you go to a Mars show or a Florida or whatever, you're really running against more equal cars than what you are at a local show, because
everybody's at least trying to get on the same page.
And local stuff, I mean, think about it. Racetracks are struggling for the most part. I mean, it's not like back in the day. Back in the day, car counts was just huge. So you show up at a local show and you kind of run what you run. I mean, that sounds bad, but it is.
Well, they're not going to send nobody home.
They're not. UMP's not going to send nobody home. Florida, they're not going to send nobody home. They might say, oh, you put weight here, or you might. Okay, whatever.
I heard last year they told somebody that runs our series because his decking had too much rake in it. And the poor kid didn't know no difference, and they told him, just take your spoiler off. When he got home, the brace bar, the bolt broke out of the aluminum T-bar, so that's why his decking had so much.
Right.
He's like, this whole time I was racing with no damn spoiler, because I tore up on the first night. He tore up his right front. He said, I had to work on the car every night. I never even got to the back to look and see.
Right. So we went to Needmore, Georgia, and I don't know this for sure, but I was told the Mod Mafia guy is who wrote these rules. I will say I was impressed with him in Needmore back in the spring. At 7,500 to win. We run second to fall away. So we went through pre-tech. It was a 2-day show. And like we won, they split the field. We won the first night, like our half or whatever.
Your preliminary night.
Yeah. And so anyway, run second. We would go up through tech, and they tech bodies, okay? So anyways, we run the 75 lap, I don't know. I think it was 75 laps or 50 laps. I don't know. It was 7,500 to win, but we run that and run second. Well, they took top 3 to the tech building or whatever. And, we had to take all of our 4 bars off. They checked for spring rods. Great. That's what needs to happen. They made us take the plug out of the rear end, make sure it was locked. Great. They make sure it had its spool. That's what needs to happen. They did something with I had to take the air cleaner off and I looked down the carburetor. I really don't know what they were even looking for. They had the
everybody's got Super Bowls now. There's nothing done.
Right. I really don't know what they were looking for there, but they did. The panel where your like brake pedals and electrical and MSD is, they took that off and hooked something to, and it had to flip switch on and off.
You want to know what they were doing? They were checking for a ground for traction control.
Okay, and that was when the air cleaner was off.
They were checking for a ground for the traction control.
Okay. So but I was impressed. I'm like, that's what needs to happen. You know, a Mars race. Well, I wouldn't say Mars because I've been checked at Fairbury and I don't know that it was Mars. They took the top 3, they marked their bars, and had to pull them off to make sure they weren't spring rotted. But UMP, for one, other than Jonathan Clayton, maybe Stanford, they don't even know what a 3/4 wrench is to take the damn bar off. You know what I mean? They don't. So it's craziness. It's been that way for years. It's time for a change. I foresee, I think, and I could be wrong. I mean, back in the day, people would say, oh, well, these tracks, we're going to drop UMP. Well, I thought they were shooting themselves in the foot back in the day. I ain't so certain that ain't the time to do it now. But because I think it'll help, you know.
The only caveat to that is, though, you need some type of sanction. I know policing is the issue, but if not, it's going to be the Wild West. It will.
You have to have rules. But you know what? UMP is the Wild West. They have rules and they don't enforce them, so we're going to change them. You know, Sam, I've seen him in Florida do this. I've seen him at Charlotte do this, racing myself. Basically cuss you out in a driver's meeting. The mod guys.
Holding up his show.
Well, no, basically saying we're the problem. Hello? What are you talking about? We're the problem. The racer is always going to try to build a better mousetrap, period. And and it's your job to police it. Your series, okay? And I respect that. I respect rules. I don't blatantly cheat. I don't do none of that. Now, I look for advantages. I think anybody that's competitive in racing does.
It's like his wheelbase rule. He was upset over the wheelbase, but he wasn't upset over it being wrong. He's upset over the way they're checking it because if you turn his wheel to the left, it changes it.
Right. You have to have enough brains. You have to have enough brains. How are we checking wheelbase? Yeah. And we're right side's good, but then we're going to the left and we're turning the wheel to the left to check it. I mean, that's just brain dead. I mean,
well, the problem was that I was watching the video when it happened, and I seen you use Barry.
I'm about to blow a gasket. Yeah.
But the bar that they was using was hitting your left side door where it was kicking out.
Right.
That's the reason why they wanted you to turn the wheel.
Right.
When you turn the wheel, it makes the wheelbase shorter.
Right. And I mean, so I didn't even get DQ'd in that deal. I didn't. They weren't even going to check my wheelbase. You know, I won the B main. Brad DeYoung, I went to bat for Diamond.
Yeah.
And Brad DeYoung. Because, so he was practice night, qualifying night, really fast. We qualified crappy the first round. The second round, we qualified good. Like the next day, we were starting pole of a heat race. And so, you know, I'm back kind of getting ready for my heat race. Or no, the B main, because I was in the first heat. And Brad had run second. We had it on the TV in the mudroom. Brad runs second. And in the heat, transferred in. Well, Kevin Huff, he come back before Brad even got back, said they DQ'd him. I said, what do you mean they DQ'd him? I mean, I'm like, huh? What? Yeah, he said he's 2 inches too short on the left side wheelbase. I'm like, what in the... I'm like, you're kidding me. He said, oh no. I said, well, what'd they say to do? He said, they threw him out. Lengthen his bars 2 inches. I said, oh, come on. Well, by this time, Brad's pulling back in there. I get on the four-wheeler and ride up there because the one tech guy, that's another joke about UMP. We don't have an official there.
For the combined rules race, UMP
we don't have an official. And Jonathan told me because I got on the phone with him. Jonathan's like, well, and we wanted to go, but Sam didn't want to pay to send nobody. Sam needs to go. He's a problem.
Yeah.
Cigarette Sam.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so we, you know, I'm on the phone with him, and the one guy from Pennsylvania does, I don't know, his hands were tied. Yeah. I feel bad for him because, and I haven't talked to him since, and really, I don't know him. I don't even know his name. But I know he was there from Pennsylvania and does a series, I think, out there.
Yeah, I think he does the crate series.
Is that what it is?
I think it's the 602. It's kind of like the Mid-East series, but it's up.
Okay,
and,
okay. And you could tell.
Like, he Strimmies people. I think he worked with Strimmy for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's probably right. That's
yeah.
probably right. So I, you know, went to him and like, dude, what's going on? I'm watching them check these people's wheelbase through there. Keep in mind when you go on the scales there, you turn left.
No.
Well, when you turn left rear hikes up, right? So if it stays up, your wheelbase will be short, okay? If you're sitting down squatting, it's going to be longer. I mean, it's physics, okay? So, anyway, I said to him, whatever his name was, I'm like, I'm up here for Brad DeYoung. You guys DQ'd him, said his wheelbase was 2 inches short on the left side. How are you checking it? Because Brad says, I don't know. I think they made me line my left front tire up with the door. I said, do what?
Well, they kind of had to, though. Yeah.
I said, what do you mean line up with the door?
Yeah, because the checker wasn't long enough on the end of
Brad's
the
like, well, I don't know, but they kept having me turn left. I said, well, it's going to be short if you're turning left. So I went up there to the old boy that, I don't know, from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And he was super nice and said, how you checking it? And keep in mind, the heat races are rolling off the racetrack and they're pulling in there and they're trying to...
they're busier than hell.
Right,
they're
right.
busier than hell.
And I knew that. You know what I mean? So I'm like trying not to... he's already been DQ'd. It's already been announced. He's not going to get a spot back, but I want to know what the hell is going on. And so anyway, he you know, kind of says, I don't know, hands are tied or whatever. So at the end of the night, we're sitting down and I want you to check my wheelbase and show me how to do it. So how you're checking it. And where'd you get 2 inches too short on the left side? For one, who wants
3/4, I'll give you.
Right. I mean, who wants to be that, you know, loose roll steer? I mean, come on. And so anyhow, so go out and I mean, I'm already like pissed, but run the B.
When you're pissed, you're in the B to begin with.
Right.
Now you're pissed that your car's not legal.
And win the B, and I thought, I really didn't know what to do other than I know I was raised and as a grown man, I'm a firm believer you live life with integrity, honesty, and stick up for yourself, okay? So I go out and run the B, and my wife, she said, I'm on Facebook Live it. I said, keep your phone in your pocket. What are you doing? And
well, I seen it on Facebook.
Well, I know. I can't tell you how many views, but it was a bunch.
Yeah.
And so anyway, go across scales. They check whatever they're checking. They give me a thumbs up. And I shut the car. And no, check my wheelbase. I'm not running all goddamn weekends. And then all of a sudden you DQ me after I win $100,000 or whatever, right? And so they go.
The $100,000 that actually did get paid.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That one did get
actually
paid.
did get paid, which that's a whole other story. That sucks because XR they did a lot of out of the box stuff, and it but I get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they check the right side, and they come around with their little stick or whatever they had, and next thing I know, they're telling me to turn to the left like they did Brad. And Brad said they lined it up at the door. Well, no, what they told me was they were lining the left side tires up. Their stick had 2 little points, and it went to the hub. And they would measure from the sidewalls, and they wanted that measurement the same. So to start with, my first argument with that, our hub is a Pro Eliminator hub. Mine and Brad's both. 2 inches inboard, the axle, the drive flange is inboard. It ain't sticking out like a Grand National.
Yeah.
So there's 2 inches. So now we're crooked, so let's turn to the left to try to line up. You said it was hitting the door.
It was hitting the door. The whole issue was the thing was about 6 inches. Sam was right.
Sam's fixing it. Right, we had too much skew.
Yeah, Sam was right. So the whole thing was the things were like 7 inches.
Right.
Okay. When you went to put it on the hub, your door's got about 8 inches of kick out.
Right.
It was hitting the door. So they turned the wheel. When they turned the wheel, the left rear came in. So that's what happened. I don't care what their rule, what they said. That's from a guy that techs race cars, builds race cars. That's what happened.
Right. Okay. So anyway, so they start making me turn to the left. I just shut the car off and come. You can't turn the damn wheel and expect to check wheelbase. You just said the right side's good. What do you? So anyway, long story short, so I pull out. Everybody's seen the video, but. So the next day, we left, driving home. And
come back to Brownstown.
Yeah, well, that was the race with Harmon we were talking about. And driving home, phone rings. And it's Chase, dang it, the Texas guy, that part of the mod war down there for the 50 grand. Chase, dang it, I'm friends with him on Facebook. Terrible with names.
Yeah.
Anyway, he
I know
called.
about,
And he's like, but what'd you do different? I mean, what's going on from last year to this year? And I told him the story, and he said, well, that's the same story that I got, because I guess he called up there. I mean, everybody's seen it, right? And so what'd you do different from last year when you were down here? And I'm like, nothing. It's the same car. I mean, same damn car. And we built it July of 24, and
it's still running. And we're taking it to Florida this year.
Right. And so anyway, he's like, well, our scales were marked. I said, well, you guys, I don't really call you guys checking it down there, but I don't want to go all the way to Texas and be DQ'd because I got to turn the wheel to the left, check wheelbase. He said, well, our scales down there were marked. And, when you pulled on the scale pads, we knew right away if, you were there or not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, nothing's different. I mean, it's the same car. And so there you go. You know, and I said, that's because I pulled on the goddamn scale straight. I didn't turn the wheel to the left.
Yeah, that's what you did. You screwed up. I'm telling you, next time you go down there, just kick your door in and you'll be all right. Well, speaking of UMP did get something right. Tell us about the $10,000 to win modified race at Eldora where you just had to hold your breath and the most exciting interview I've ever seen when they said, what are you going to do with the money? And he said, I'm going to refresh the engine because I just had the tongue hanging out for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, so, you know, I've raced. I'm 44, and my dad got us into dirt racing. Well, I think I was actually 14. My older brother drove an old bomber car. Just absolutely fell in love with it. Well, then when I was 16, I started racing. And, you know, the highs are highs and the lows of racing. There's more lows than there is highs. You expect to win, right? I mean, but they don't call it winning, they call it racing for a reason. So that deal, for one, being at Eldora, for two, being 10 grand, that's a night that I sat out on the front stretch till 5 in the morning, had beers stuffed in my sweatshirt. Nobody was around. I swear to God.
I'm just taking this in.
I swear. So that all happened. So that whole night, like, and I'd only run Eldora, like I hadn't been there since I think 14 or 15, something like that. And it's only been for like the Fall Nationals.
Which is an event we need back.
Right. Well, like UMP got that messed up.
Yeah, we're going to move back to Illinois.
Right. So, but anyways, that deal.
Before he goes anymore, the UMP Fall Nationals may be the best late model. I know the Dirt Track World Championship pays more, but that was the best collective. Get everybody together and let's race.
Right. Well, I mean, back in the day, my first year there was 02.
Yeah.
And second year in mod, well, I was a duck out of water. You know what I mean? And then, I don't know, I probably went 02, probably 05, 06. More time than not, them early years, come home with a bent race car. I mean,
that's just Eldora.
No experience, you know what I mean, and just really didn't belong there. But there'd be 175 cars a weekend. And so that all, you know, changed or whatever. But back to the dirt track, you know, Tony Stewart got that right with the mods the year before. If you remember right, it rained and it was the first year it was there and they sent the mods home. Well, he just doubled the purse and
said, you guys come on back. And Ain gave money back.
Right.
I was up there that weekend.
Right.
He let you.
And that's Eldora for you. And I don't know if that's straight to Stewart's call, probably a lot of it, but that's just Eldora. They're just, you know what I mean?
Eldora sets the level. They set the bar, and Tony Stewart is a true racer's racer.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Yeah. And so we went back there. Well, driving over there that night, or day, I told my wife, I said, I hope I draw a later number. Because I knew there wasn't late models. You know, I'd always been there for the Fall Nationals in the past. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, I remember going to the World as a kid. And that first heat race on Saturday night, second heat race was just stupid, wide open. You know, guys would run hot, blow up. You know, the racing wasn't really that great. It was just to the floor and hold on.
Hold your breath for 15 laps.
I said it would be pretty cool to kind of experience that because every time I'd ever been there, you know, the Fall Nationals, it was slick for the most part. I mean, there was a couple years it rained.
There was some chop,
but it still wasn't like that. Well, sure enough, I drew like a 5. Something silly. And was in like the 4th, 5th car on the track that night. And it was so slimed up when we hot lapped. I'm like, well, okay, whatever. But then I'm telling you, and even qualifying was that way. But the damn heat race was the damnedest thing I mean, literally, and people don't believe me, but to the floor, the whole way around, never cracked the throttle, and entering every corner, I felt like you're just going to take off, bike, flip, like a sprint car.
Yeah.
You know, but I felt like, and the motor the whole time, it was like, and Chad builds an awesome motor, but it was like, whoa, pulling down. I'm like, and to the floor, like.
Well, you needed the hump going in 3 to break the motor up.
Yeah. So.
You're like, can you put a hump in 1?
Yeah. So anyhow, we win the heat. We got lucky and hit the invert qualifying, but man, when we went out qualifying, it was slimy, and I knew, I'm like, man, we're in trouble. It was Group A and B, if I remember right, and it just kept getting faster. I didn't realize. I think we ended up like 7th quick. I didn't realize they were inverting 4, and I thought, well, shoot, we've missed the invert. Well, there was 2 heats in that group, or 3
But
or whatever.
you've been racing in Brownstown. You're used to 15 cars.
Right.
You didn't realize there were 70. You're like, damn.
Right. And so, we're waiting for lineups, and then boom, I'm on the pole of the first heat. Like, hell yeah. So we go back, get in. And before we ever turn the lap, Strickler flipped hard, and it was Zach Carr, I think. Was that right?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking mangled.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this on the big screen. I'm like, it just unnerving, right? So, but anyhow, so we go on. Feature time, yes, it wasn't, you could race.
That
way. Yeah.
It was about like hot lap normally.
Right. And so we go on and win or whatever, and after we get loaded, I'm kind of still beside myself with it, but after we get loaded and we pulled out of the infield and parked up top, and Dia, she cooked some food and stuff and ate some food, and I said, and Chad, one of my employees, and his girlfriend at the time, they stayed with us in the motorhome, and like, Dia, do you care if I go down to the racetrack? And I had a sweatshirt on. I packed like 6 beers in the front hoodie pocket. And you got to think, the first time I ever went to Eldora was like 1999. And, you're driving along and you pull into this field, and it was for the dream. Yeah. And me and my brother and a buddy of ours, we camped in a tent that week or what. And at that time, it was still like, I think Friday night was only qualifying, and then Saturday was the whole show, I think, right?
Yeah.
And they only
you did
took
2 rounds of qualifying.
Yeah. And we walk up, and you can see the glow of the lights and stuff, and we walk up there, and like, holy crap, look at this place. So
this is a racetrack.
Right. And so anyway, I sat there on the front stretch, drank them 6 beers. By this time, it's 5 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm going to go back and get some more beer. And I'm like, no, you need to go to bed at least for a few hours. Because, for one, my mom and dad wasn't there. And then, they all come here when we got home. But it's, it's just one of them things that racing, I mean, 10 grand is a lot of money, but it's kind of a drop in the bucket for what you spend on stuff.
And that comes and goes.
It does.
But the memories don't.
It does. And and for a mod race, I mean, okay, sure, they had the 100,000 and all that stuff. But for mod race, 10 grand is a big race, and they're...
And it's Eldora.
Right. It wouldn't have mattered if it was 3 grand or whatever. Just the fact of winning at Eldora, and then on 10 grand, it was a bonus.
Yeah.
So pretty cool, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, that's Eldora Speedway, man. It's one of those places that I guess I've been so much, I kind of take it for granted. And I think a lot of people get like this.
You do.
Because when you talk to people, we go to racetrack all over the country. So when I talk to people, and we'll just say Southeast Georgia, they're like, have you ever been to Eldora? I'm like, yeah, but you need to go to Boone, Iowa. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, but you need to go to Boone. You need to go to Fairbury. And they're like, man, I just really want to go to Eldora. And I'm thinking, hell, Eldora's 3.5 hours, 4 hours from my house. I go to Eldora all the time.
Right.
But for people that's never been there, and even for people that has been there, when you walk in though, like even still myself, I find myself saying, I'm glad I'm here. But you just get to the point where you've been so much, you just like
the prestige of it goes away a little bit, like the awe of like
the awe of it.
You walk up and look at the place, and Stewart's even
done amazing,
right, compared to what it was in '99.
Yeah, because Eldora wasn't. It was kind of a dump when Earl let it go. I mean,
right. But it just I don't know, the size of it, I guess,
Yeah.
to me, the first time I seen it was like unreal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's me.
They still had the motorhomes parked up in 1 and 2, like
Yeah.
on the hill and stuff, and there was people over off the back stretch in trees watching.
Oh yeah.
Like, wow. you
Yeah,
know?
that's one of those things. I love it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those places that you always. Hold on a second. I just noticed something. You got Jim Curry's door hanging on the wall here.
Oh yeah, that's from.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not from a Diamond House car. Okay.
No, well, so Jimmy Curry, his son is good friends of ours. He's like a grandpa to our kids and stuff, but he brought that out. And actually, if you can read it, it's kind of faded, but it's signed like the week before the World of '02.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been there since he brought it out, but like I said, the son's kind of faded his signature, but
Man,
old
that's-
Jim Curry, the legend.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You got open house coming up, so let's tell people about this Black Friday. Tell them what they can expect. What what you got going on. We appreciate you coming on for us, but we also want to try to help you out some. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, a lot of stuff's on 15-20% off, parts wise.
And when
So-
he says a lot, there's a lot of shit built here too.
We're trying to get ready for it. Last year we did it, and I feel like we're ahead of where we were last year, but we just you know what I mean. It's tough. But if for some reason we run out of something, we'll honor the price, what the sale price. But more than anything, I mean, there's food. Mark Bush talking for, I don't know, early afternoon. He probably talked for a couple hours, hour and a half. The mingling, just the interaction, there's a car at Powder Cove. There's going to be a couple cars in here. It's just a deal that kind of gives, like, we want to show appreciation to our customers. And if they can save, we had some people last year save, hundreds of dollars on stuff that they're going to need throughout the year. So it just is a good thing.
You're doing your part to help Hoosier. So they save money here, they can buy more tires.
Right. Oh, that went up too. Yeah, the Hoosier tires went up too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I kind of hard on Sam a little bit, but it just gets tiring. It just gets tiring.
Well, it's understandable. You're here. As we're pulling up, you're still working.
Right.
I can get where you put so much effort and energy into it, and I half-heartedly joking saying they picked on your moonroof, and
right.
But you kind of feel like that sometimes, like it's not just you. They're
looking at the whole picture and they just don't know.
Hoffman has the same. Everybody's got the same bitch.
Absolutely.
So,
NASCAR. They got the same crap with rules.
I think it's cool you're standing up for the racers too, though.
Yeah.
It's trying to help them
come
guys
on.
out.
My thing with it is, and I wish they would have a meeting like to
like drivers
chassis
meeting.
builders or
Yeah.
something, or drivers included, whatever, and just make a little more of an educated choice on rules. I mean,
Well, how about this? We bring back the Fall Nationals at Eldora Speedway. We have the ballroom. Everybody comes in, UMP, it's your end-all, be-all. You win your points, and your drivers come in, drivers, car owner, chassis builders, and everybody just have a powwow, bullshit, and talk about it.
Right. That'd be great.
And
here's
the best case scenario. Even if they decide not to change a thing, you guys at least got to vote your opinion.
Right. And I get some of that. It could create confrontation, but not really.
No.
Most people have a brain, and I'm going to treat somebody with respect. I would tell Sam the same stuff that I said here. We've been doing this for a year, and we got close to 1 million downloads, so somebody may tell him anyways. Right. No, I think he's probably already got it.
Yeah.
But like the way he treats you at drivers meetings and stuff, he don't care. So I don't know. My whole gripe is what's going to change with this set of rules than the last set of rules, because the reason you're changing that is because you feel like, oh, they're out of hand. Well, it's because you ain't policed the rules you had.
So they're going to be out of hand.
Right. And I'm a firm believer. They'll make rules only if you're succeeding with like winning races or your cars are winning races. If you're not, you could show up with anything. You could show up with a 6-inch spoiler. I ain't gonna say nothing. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not really, but literally.
That's what.
So then,
Not really, but yeah.
Then what happens is so your cars start winning, and then the racer gets jealous, and then they start complaining, and then next thing you know, they start looking at it, and that's how that works. I've been around the block a long time.
And you're not allowed to have no moonroof.
Half moon.
right,
Half moon.
half
What is
moon.
a half moon?
Yeah.
What are they talking about? Half moon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who helps you get up and down the road? Who helps makes this possible?
First and foremost, Hoosier Truck Sales. Matt Bugnick. I don't know if you guys know Matt.
Oh yeah.
Hoosier Truck Sales.
Might be the most all time. I know people say Gilpin and Curry, but I guarantee you, Boatnick has won in more tight cars at Brownstown than anybody.
Yeah, he won a bunch of races. Yes. Actually, I was informed this year by my father-in-law. I'm third all-time winningest mod driver. Gilpin's number 1, Boatnick second.
Yeah, that's. I was gonna, and then probably Joe Gotze will be.
Maybe so.
Yeah, if I had to guess. Or
So
Plessinger.
that race,
Or Plessinger. Yeah.
Maybe that race that we won when we come back from Wisconsin. My father-in-law says, "Well, me and you's tied for the amount of races," and he was in super stock. And I said that to Victory Lane. Essex was like, "What about your fall? Is he asleep up in the grandstand?" I said, "Well, he might be,
Yeah.
And he said, "Did he give you any advice?" And I said, "Well, he told me that we're tied on wins, and I just passed him."
Yeah. That's funny.
But Hoosier Truck Sales for sure. Dyno One, Willie's Carburetor. Willie's awesome. I actually talked to him today for probably an hour and a half.
That's why you didn't get those other 2 bumpers though.
That's probably right. Mullins Race Engines, Penske Racing Shocks. John Quinn at Penske's phenomenal. Schoenfeld Headers, Mark Braley at Schoenfeld, phenomenal. FK Rod Ends, great people to deal with. In all the years of building and racing myself, the best thing you do is just surround yourself with good, smart people, and that's what we got. All-Star Performance, they've done a lot for us too. My guys in the shop, Chad, Emmett, Trent, my wife, my kids, even though they don't even know anything different, but
they don't have a choice right now.
Right, they don't have a choice. But it's just, it's pretty surreal to be able to make a living with what started out as a hobby and something you love. And love it to this day, even though it's not as much love as what it used to be.
Even though Sam pisses you off.
Oh, yeah. But it deep down, I love it just as much as the day I started. But anytime you turn your hobby into your living, it's going to create more of a.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
I'm still trying. If you know anybody hiring a pit reporter that knows a lot about race cars and don't mind bullshitting, send them my numbers. But we appreciate you coming on. If you need anything done, need bodies or anything, reach out. He'll get you taken care of. It's got a whole parts room up here. Got plenty of parts hanging on the shelf. Come up here, see him Black Friday, and hell, just. If you can find the place, you better come up here in daylight right now and the time that it is. But if you can find the damn place, he's got plenty of parts here. But we appreciate
we're only like 2 mile, half mile, maybe, well, 1.5 miles off of 50.
How far are you from Dairy Queen?
I think 4 miles.
Because my fat ass is hungry. That's where I'm going.
4 miles to town. And but like literally from up on the hill at the house, you can see 50.
Okay, well,
that's cool.
Well,
and
from down on the hill, if you got any high water, you're not getting to the damn place.
Yeah. If the water gets out, you ain't coming through Brownstown.
No shit. I noticed that.
But now you can go out, turn right out of here, half miles, 135, and then it's probably 2 miles to 50.
Oh no, we like the tough way. We like the being so far out. We don't even have lines on the road. We got gravel on the side of the damn road.
They just started doing that. So they paved the road, and I'm telling you, it was like 6-8 inch drop off, like where they paved it. And just yesterday, they started putting that gravel shoulder.
Well, you got up here where the silos are. There's a
Hallow or Lucas probably.
Yeah, there's a S curve there. And if you hit that running about 60, there's enough gravel on the damn road that you get to play dirt car racing a little bit because we did it on the way up here. but we appreciate you coming on and thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right, nephew, that was Ryan Thomas out of Brownstown, Indiana. Owner, operator, CEO, does it all at Diamond Racecars. Well, actually, he doesn't do it all no more. He's got a whole crew. Used to do it all at Diamond Racecars. We appreciate Ryan Thomas taking time out of us and sit down and discuss one of the hot topics around the country right now, which is UMP modified rules. And Ryan Thomas goes in a lot deeper. He goes into rules, into payout, into teching cars. And one thing that I like, and you can speak on this as well, what he was saying, he doesn't really care about the rules. He don't care what the rule is. What he cares is that it's only going to be policed 3 times a year. It's going to be policed in Florida. It's going to be policed in the Summer Nationals, and then in the Mars Series. And he said everything else is kind of like the Wild West. So how do you feel about that? Because you're a guy, you guys run with some series. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think. Well, everybody always gets hit hard in Florida, and then we got hit hard last time in Florida. I had to cut like our whole cell panel. But I think, like he said, 3 times out of the year. But that's about right, because nobody else around here techs. I think everybody else they all have different rules, too.
So that's
I don't know.
That's one of the things that I thought was real fascinating, and I know he took some digs at Sam, but he also tried to clean it up at the end and say he don't really mean to hate on the guy, but let's use our brain. He said, and one thing that he did agree that I agree with, that he said that I'll be honest, I really didn't agree with at first was, I'm thinking, well, if that's what they want to do, let's just change it. It's a couple pieces of metal. But it's not a couple pieces of metal. 2 pieces of metal end up being 8 pieces of metal, which ends up being about $1,000 and making a change. And like he said, metal it don't cost no dip. You got to hang the metal anyways. So it doesn't cost any more or any less to make it look like a shoebox or make it look like a race car. So I kind of agree with that.
I don't think, the bodies ain't going to do much.
No, there's other stuff that needs to be changed.
Right.
And that's what
the bodies, that ain't the answer.
Yeah, that's what he said. And but yes, so we appreciate Ryan Thomas for coming on. Highly successful modified racer, a highly successful car builder. He's got so much equipment up there. He's got a Black Friday sale coming on. So it's a Black Friday seminar. You don't even have to be a Diamond customer. You can be any person. If you want to go up and listen to Mark Bush talk about setting up race cars, Mark Bush race cars, and see the factory, see the Diamond race cars, see how they're the jig room and everything, and they're having lunch and a whole big deal. And they have a parts room there that is state of the art. I mean, they got every part you need in house, in stock. So if you're a street stock racer, you run super stock at Brownstown, or even a Ford or Hornet guy. I mean, they got pop rivets, everything up there. You can get whatever you need for the racers. So Black Friday, it's an all day event there at Diamond Racecars. So get out, check it out, and let's keep dirt racing alive. Because he's one of the guys. He builds quite a bit of cars a year. So
yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he does good work. So this week's Racetrack Spotlight being brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering, and this is a track that nephew can speak on. Volusia Speedway Park. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the Ruderman Memorial, $10,000 to win. UMP Dirt Car Modifieds at Volusia Speedway Park, the world's fastest half mile. So you made your way to Volusia. You've been there twice now. So what do you think about Volusia?
It's fast. I like it, though. It's clean. It's big. It's fast. The food's good. And there are real gators there. You got to watch out.
You got to watch out for the gators. So you always got to be on your A game.
Yeah.
Because if you're not watching them, they're watching you. But yeah, Volusia Speedway. It's a half mile. It's a clay based. I think the clay comes out of southeast Georgia. It's not red clay. It's but it's a gumbo kind of clay mixed in with sand. It usually slicks off. One time you guys were there though, it was hammered down the whole time because it rained.
Hammered down the whole time.
Yeah, because it rained.
It did rain He ran a lot, and he was hammered down and fast, really fast.
Yeah, but it's a nice, clean facility, big bleachers, but a $10,000 win UMP modified race, home of the Dirt Car Nationals, but Volusia Speedway Park. And as Kevin said, there is plenty of good food. They have food trucks, food tents right outside turns 1 and 2. Steak on a stick.
Steak on a stick. They even got hibachi there.
Yeah, they got hibachi, but as we always give a food for the Racetrack Spotlight, brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering, and I told Kevin he needs to go eat this, but he didn't want to walk all the way to the front stretch. The food of the choice is Volusia Speedway Park's Grandma Mary on the front stretch, her homemade chili right there on the front stretch. And the only place you can get it at any other racetrack, any other track. You can't get it in the pits. You can't get it over there in turns 1 and 2 where all the food vendors are. But the homemade chili is my racetrack food of choice. What's your racetrack food of choice there?
Steak on the stick.
Steak on the stick's
good.
It's pretty damn good. But this week's Racetrack Spotlight being brought to you by JT's Trackside Catering. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the Rudin Memorial, $10,000 to win for the UMP Dirt Car Modifieds. All right, coming up this weekend, Crate Racing USA is at Needmore, Georgia, Friday and Saturday. $10,000 to win, 604 Crate late models, plus the 602 late model Sportsman going for $2,500 to win. The Carolina Clash Super Late Models, one of the very few super late model events on the whole weekend, will take place Sunday at Livonia, Georgia. $5,000 to win for the Carolina Clash Super Late Models. Also on the docket, guess what? More late models. $3,000 to win limited late models. Also running the 604 late models and the 602 late models there at Livonia, Georgia. And then North Georgia has the Turkey Rumble. $2,000 to win late models. Also on the docket, 604 late models mods. And a $5,000 to win bone stock enduro there at Ray Cook's North Georgia Speedway. And then Saturday night, where I will be headed, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be at Smoky Mountain this weekend too, aren't you?
Yep, first time. I'm excited.
Well, I haven't been to Smoky Mountain since they made it smaller. So you will be in the pits doing the racing thing. I will be up in the press box doing what I do best, talking, because I don't like working anymore. But this Friday and Saturday, Friday is practice night. The Smoky Mountain Speedway Thanksgiving Thunder limited late models, $2,500 to win. The Cumberland Plateau Open Wheel Modified Series non-points event, special paying $2,000 to win. The Cumberland Plateau Mod Minis, $1,500 to win. The Late Model Sportsman, Street Stock, Front Wheel Drive, Crown Vic. If they race it, they're going to run it. Saturday, all-day racing event there at the Smoky Mountain Speedway down there in Sevierville, Tennessee. So that's where we'll be Saturday. And then the USAC West Coast Swing just keeps right along trucking. Wednesday night, Park Plaza, the little 6 mile bull ring there on the West Coast. USAC National Midgets will be on flow. And then Friday night, one of the must-go racetracks in the country for me. It's one of the few that's on my list. Well, I got a lot on my list, but there's a few on my list that I really want to go see, and that's the Tulare Thunderbolt. The USAC National Midgets continue the West Coast Spring. The West Coast Swing, it's easy for me to say. The USCS, the Ultimate Sprint Car Series will be there. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. There's all the USAC national guys are in town, but they're going to go to the playground of Ricky Lewis. So Ricky Lewis is back home in California, and the Ultimate Sprint Car Series Friday night will be the undercard for the USAC National Midgets. And then Saturday and Sunday, the Merced Speedway, the USAC National Midgets, Saturday and Sunday at the Quarter Mile High Bank right there in Merced, California, to end this week's racing events. So all kinds of stuff to do. I mean, right here in the Midwest, the racing's winding down, but all you got to do is head south just a little bit. So you got anything before we get off here? This is usually where I ask Flash, you got anything, but nephew, you got anything?
No.
Nothing
I'm
at
ready
all?
to go. No, I had fun though.
You had fun? Well, good. We'll get you back on, and maybe we might do a deep dive with nephew about his big, crew chiefing expertise. We can get into the load numbers and
I don't know if I don't know about all that.
you don't know about. See, there we go again. Not helping preserve the dirt racing world. Okay, but yeah, get out and support a local racetrack. If not, you got a bunch of stuff on Flo this weekend. USAC Midgets will be on Flo. So they're racing 3 times this week, and everybody head south to Tennessee this weekend. There's a couple big events down there this weekend, and we say this each and every week. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, and we do have shirts for sale. Reach out. We'll get you taken care of, and hopefully by next week we'll have all that stuff covered and ready to send out. Until next time, we'll be trading sliders.